Okay, our patient will be supine or sitting for tib post. We know that tib post is a plantar flexor and inverter, so we put the foot into the opposite position, so we're going to dorsiflex and evert the foot. And so again, when you're explaining this to a patient, you know, talking about dorsiflexion eversion is all a bit of a waste of time. So you're going to take the foot and say, okay, I want you to put the foot into, I'm going to put the foot into this position, and I want you to end up in this position here. When we're putting force against the foot, we said we apply the pressure gradually, but we also want to put the force in the against the direction that it's travelling. So rather than me trying to hold the foot back from doing that motion, I want to put the pressure here, so I let them do it and I'm just trying to stop it from going there. So again, we don't hold it back, we stop it there. Again, I'll let the foot start to move, and then as it comes through, I'll put my pressure on, so mid-range to end. And again, this is a fairly easy muscle to see, so that if we just do that again for us. So at the moment I'm getting a lot of tibant, so I just want to try and get a bit more plantar flexion occurring here. We've got as nice a one here as we should have, but generally we'll see our tib post coming in to our navicular. Now, so if we just do that again, so we're coming from there and we want to end up in this position here. Okay, and we're going to fixate above the ankle. Okay, give it a try for us. So you can see a little bit here, you can feel the tendon with tib post. Now, the thing with tib post is the thing that we ask, and what I'll ask definitely if you get this in your prac exam, is single limb raise is the test that we do functionally. So if I've got someone who I think has got a tib post problem, the thing that I'll get them to do is to stand up, lift one foot and then go up on your toes. And single limb raise is difficult. Now, why is single limb raise difficult? Because it's not the main plantar flexor. So people tell me, oh well, it's a plantar flexor. Yes, it is a plantar flexor, but by no means is it the biggest plantar flexor. So the main plantar flexor, of course, is our gastroconsolius complex. We've also got our flexors. The thing with tib post is that you'll remember that tib post's insertion is not only to our navicular, but to basically all our tarsal bones. So, you know, cuneiforms and all that area there. And tib post is yes, it's an inverter, but it's more important in terms of pulling those bones together. So we talked about the foot either being the rigid lever or the loose bag of bones. If tib post doesn't fire, then it stays a loose bag of bones. So tib post dysfunction, if someone comes in and they said, I had this fall and I've got this pain around here, and then you stand up and you've got this unilateral pronation, then 99% of the time it's tib post, they've done something to that. If they've strained that tendon, it's a very sort of life-changing injury. It doesn't usually get better, and you'll need to support that. But again, that's why the single limb raise is difficult. So don't pretend it's a plantar flexor, because there's lots of other plantar flexors. So it is really that connection to all those little bones which is the issue. As it's saying there, again, if plantar flexor inverts the foot, again, we can have tibant if you're dorsiflexing the foot too much, but also your other flexors can be substituting. If they do, then your toes are going to be flexing. So if the person's really trying hard and they're sort of going like this with their toes, then we know those flexors are trying to come in rather than tib post. So it is important, and often you have to do this, as I said, 2 or 3 times just to get the person used to. And some patients, you know, you could give them a slap with, you're trying to explain it, and they just can't get it. But then, you know, go to something else and come back again. But they have to be able to sort of go and then come into that plantar position here. So it is really important that we start in the dorsiflexed and everted and end up in plantar flexed and inverted, and again our pressure there, and we fixate above the ankle and go from that point. Okay, as I said, the gross pronation and the single limb raise is the thing. The other thing we can do with this is another quick test that you can do. As I said, we don't talk about it as being an adductor, but what I'll say is after I've done the single limb raise test, is I'll often just put my hand and just ask the person to adduct their foot, so just ask them to pull their foot this way against my hand, and that will cause pain for people as well. So it's just another quick test. So this is the proper test, but as I said, the single limb raise and the adduction is another quick way to sort of just get an idea of what's there. Okay.